Hi, I'm Scott Swenson. We're at Lynn's Propane Trucks. We've got another stock truck here for you today. It's a 2022 Freightliner. It's got a Cummins, 350 horsepower, 34.99 gallon tank, stainless deck, fenders, stainless oversized aluminum box. This truck is decked out. We've got stainless steps, aluminum fuel tank, aluminum DEF cover, chrome bumper, chrome grille. You see the exterior sun visor, the air horns with the aluminum snow shields, bright finish mirrors, heated and power. Up front here too, you'll see we've got strobes in the headlights. These work in conjunction with one on the rear head of the tank, on a factory rocker on the dash. Let's head into the cab and take a look at a few of the options. Up here on the dash, you can see this is kind of a wing dash. It sets the controls facing the driver more. It's a nice little option. Just to the right of the steering column, we have the exhaust brake. And then just to the right of that, you'll see the selector switch for the Allison transmission. Across here, we've got our work lights, which we've got two on the lower rear corners of the cab and two on the rear head of the tank. Over here we have our beacon or strobe lights, two in the front headlight enclosures, one on the rear head of the tank. Really nice option. Oncoming traffic from either direction can see you. Makes your truck really stand out. Power windows, power locks, locking rear differential. We got a couple of 12-volt receptacles here. Charge your GPS, your tablets, your phones, whatever it is you need to charge. This truck has a 3-function remote, PTO, throttle, and emergency stop. Really nice. Your driver hauls a hose out to the customer's tank, kicks the PTO on right from the tank, the throttle up as the tank fills, kick the throttle off, shut the PTO off. Pump's running a lot less, but also it's nice because typically when you just have the single function, the emergency shutdown, they live on the dash, you get pulled over, battery's dead, you get a ticket. Whereas if you get the PTO and the throttle, they're really nice options for the drivers. They carry it with them at every delivery like they're supposed to be doing. Down here we've got a custom-made printer stand. These are custom made for each individual cab. So as you can see, it is solid. It's not going to be rattling as you're driving down the road. Just over here we've got our aluminum ticket holder. We put that in there, it just helps the driver stay organized. It's a really nice little feature there. We see these trucks when they come in for service all the time. Tickets piled on the dash, all over the floor. They got little wooden boxes rigged up. So this just helps your driver stay organized. Up here we have our backup camera monitor. So this is tied into the reverse circuit. You put it in reverse, the monitor comes on. We situate it over here because it's right near the mirrors. You know, just because you have a backup camera doesn't mean you're not using the mirrors to back up. So we kind of have two spots that you can look at. Instead of going to the center of the dash, you're just going over here to see your mirrors, your backup camera. It's a really nice option. It eliminates the blind spot directly behind the truck. You know there's nothing behind you and you can see it. Let's head to the side of the truck and take a look at a few more options. Over here in the cab, this is just a nice little feature. It's only a few bucks, but aluminum kick plate. This is a high wear area on the doors, so that just helps protect that. The seats here, we didn't get into those much, but we've got heated seats, fully adjustable. I mean, some people think it's overkill, but if you think about it, your drivers live in these trucks, especially during the winter months. They spend a lot of time in the trucks, so it's nice to be able to keep them comfortable when they're out busting their hump for you. Also, the power mirrors, controls right here on the door, which is really nice. You whack a limb or something, gets it out of whack, you can just readjust it right from your driver's side door controls. Really, really nice option. Like we said before, we've got the stainless steps, aluminum fuel tank, aluminum cover on the DEF tank. Moving back here, we've got our chalk blocks, spring-loaded, rubber in the front and the back so they're not banging as you're driving down the road. Easy access, easy in, easy out. And then we've got the spring-loaded top, which makes it a secure load. Makes things nice and simple for your drivers. Stainless fenders, stainless fender brackets. In the back here, we've got a stainless spacer. We set the mud flat back so you can't pin it between a snowbank and rip it off with your tire. And it keeps a lot of the road grime off the back deck as well. Let's move to the back deck and take a little closer look. We're at the back deck here. As you can see, everything's stainless steel. Stainless steel deck. It's a lower deck. you're working off the back of this truck all day long, so everything's within your center of gravity. The meter, the reel, the load lines. As you can see, they're lowered, they're angled. In the winter months, those 2-inch fill lines, they don't flex at all. They're hard as a rock. This is nice and easy, just under your arm. You come right up, it's at the right angle, the right height. The Acme lines up and it spins right on. It's nice and simple. I see so many of these drivers up on a milk crate or whatever it is, a little stool. They've got it up over their shoulder. They're trying to get the Acmes lined up. It's difficult. This makes things a lot easier. With the lower deck and you're working within your center of gravity, most of the trucks you see, the builders have a prefab deck. They let the chassis rails come out behind the rear axles, set the deck right on top of that. When you do that, that means it's up higher. You're working up above your shoulders all day long, whether you're loading the truck, reeling in the reel, whatever it is. So this is a really nice feature. It makes life a lot easier. We've got an LC meter, LCR2 register with 2-stage preset. That means if you want to drop 182.6 gallons, it'll drop it right on the money. We have a nice little shelf in here for your drivers to stay organized. They can keep their fittings, gloves, all that stuff right here and handy. Also on the side here, we have a little holder for a leak check bottle. But a lot of times in the summer months, we see drivers use it to keep their B-bomb in. So keep it nice and handy for them. Hose and nozzle stored in the meter box. Keeps it clean, dry, ice-free. Easy in, easy out. A lot of the times we'll see they've got a little fitting here. You've got to thread it onto the deck, thread it off every time you want to use it. This is nice and simple. You'll open the meter box to start the delivery and grab your hose. Moving across, we've got the Hannay reel. This is spec for 250 feet of 1-inch hose. Comes standard with 150 feet of 1-inch hose. As you can see, there's a lot of extra room in here. The reason for that, you know, if we put 200 feet of hose on there, you got to reel it up perfect to get it to fit on there. With this, you can just throw it on there quickly. Your drivers are out there hustling. They're reeling this in. They're not getting it perfect every time. They've got plenty of room here. It's not going to be lopping over the edge, getting caught between the drum and the frame. It's not going to be rubbing against the deck. You've got plenty of extra room on this hose reel. Also, we've got the Guide Master. Makes reeling in the hose a whole lot easier. You're just guiding it onto the drum. When you don't have this, obviously you're guiding it on with your hands. Any mud, grime that you drag the hose through, it's going to get on your gloves. This makes things nice and simple. If we look up top, we've got our 2 work lights. There's also 2 on the lower rear corners of the cab. That's on a factory rocker switch right on that dash. In the center, we've got the strobe light. Again, that's working in conjunction with the 2 in the front headlight assemblies. So that's really nice. No matter what direction they're coming from, traffic's coming from on a roadside stop, they're going to see you. You're going to grab their attention. Right above the strobe is the camera for the backup camera. So that was the monitor over on the passenger side, tied into the reverse circuit. You put it in reverse, the monitor comes on. Really, really nice option. It shows you what's directly behind your truck. Completely eliminates this blind spot. One more feature back here is the pull-away protection. So you see the disc on the 3 1/4 Acme. This is tied into the Allison transmission. Allison has a function called range inhibit. So if this cap is not back on, it doesn't sense that it's back on, the range inhibit function will not let you put the truck into gear and pull away. So if you haven't finished loading, put the cap back on, you're not going to be able to put the truck into gear. You won't have a pull-away accident. Let's go to the side of the truck, take a look at a couple more options. Again, we've got the lowered stainless deck, the stainless spacer behind the fender here so that we can set the mud flat back so you don't trap it between a snowbank and your tire and rip it off. Stainless fenders, fender brackets. You can see the stainless steps, the aluminum cover for the after treatment, stainless cover for the vertical exhaust. Inside the chassis rails, you can't really see it, we've got an oversized PTO shaft. Straight as an arrow, straight and true. A lot of times we see these trucks come in here, they're at an angle. That just burns through universals. They need a lot of maintenance and a lot of upkeep. You keep it true and it's a lot less maintenance, a lot less headaches. Also inside there, everything's color coded, and we give you diagrams in a binder with the truck. So we've on those diagrams, wiring diagrams, pneumatic diagrams, everything's color coded like I said. So if you look into the frame rail, you see a yellow air line. You know exactly where it goes in the front of the truck, what part and part number, where it goes to in the back of the truck, the part and part numbers. Makes it really easy to troubleshoot any problems. This truck's built, ready to deliver gas. If you have any questions, give us a call. 1-800-252-5467. We'll talk to you soon.